Hey, it's Cory Mayo, licensed realtor with Monument Sotheby's and the lead for the Cory Mayo team. And today I'm here in front of this home. This is a new construction home that's in the beginning stages. And I want to take you inside here in a few minutes and show you the advantages of why you want a home that is being built out of 2x6 framing versus 2x4. Before we do that, again, my name is Cory Mayo and I help people just like you buy, build, and sell homes right here in Coastal Delaware. So if you have any questions at all at any point in time, feel free to give me a call or text at 302-466-5511. Without further ado, let's go inside and check this out. Okay, so here we are inside the home now, and before we dive into this too far, I do kind of want to step back and go over basics because maybe everyone is not even sure exactly what I'm talking about when I say 2x4 versus 2x6. So what that is lumber. That is a board like this. So for interior walls, 2x4s are very common, and then exterior walls, the better builders are using 2x6 structure. A 2x6 or 2x4 is part of what the framing is. That's how they build the home. That's what carries all the weight and adds the shape and size to our home. So once we have the structure of the home done, our exterior 2x6 walls are framed in, all of our load-bearing walls are in here that are carrying the weight of the home. Now we start to break up that space and size into our particular rooms, bedrooms and offices and bathrooms and whatnot. And 2x4s are perfectly fine for that. These aren't carrying weight, these aren't carrying load. These are non-insulated walls or interior walls, so it purely is just for breaking up this big open space that we have into the rooms that we need in order to make the home a home. And these are perfectly fine. It gives us space, add these 3.5-inch bays for running electrical through and plumbing. It gives us the ability to hang our drywall to make the home beautiful, but this is perfectly fine. Again, there's opinions out there, but for me, I definitely want my exterior walls to be 2x6s and leave these 2x4s just for the cosmetic stuff. Okay, so it's safe to assume that Shell Brothers is probably one of the top builders on your list if you're here watching one of my videos. So now one thing that I hear from time to time is people think they may be able to negotiate a better deal if they were to go to Shell Brothers without my help. Shell Brothers is known for their customer service, but they're also known for their consistency. A key part to that consistency is they want every client who walks through the doors of one of their models to feel as though they're getting the same deal as anyone else who walked in prior to them. And because of that, they want to make sure that everyone knows they get the exact same price, whether someone decides to represent themselves or have someone like myself advocate for them. But don't just believe me, let's hear what they actually have to say about it.
I do get this question, I don't have a realtor, can I get a discount? No. No is the answer. Yeah. We don't do that.
So if it's going to be the same price no matter what, why try to go about this all by yourself? So why not take the tried and proven path? Give me a call or text today, and like the hundreds of clients that I've helped before you, make sure that you have a true expert on your side. So when we're looking at the difference between 2x4 and 2x6 construction, 2x4s are placed 16 inches on center. Now what that means is that from the middle of this stud to the next stud, it would be 16 inches. But when you go with the 2x6, because of that extra depth, because it goes from 3.5 inches to 5.5 inches, we actually go what's called 24 inches on center. So it'd be 24 inches from the middle of this stud to the next stud. Now, different parts of the home may require studs to be a little bit closer together, depending on spans and weight load and all that, but we're speaking in generalities. But that is what's so important about having 2x6 is that additional space gets us less wood, but we still have the same strength because we're using deeper studs. So we're going from that 3.5 inches to 5.5 inches, but then we get into energy savings. So with that out of the way, why do you want your exterior walls out of 2x6 versus being built out of 2x4? Well, number one, when you are looking at 16 inches on center compared to 24 inches on center, and I apologize, I have a little cheat sheet here that I put together so I can remember some of the numbers. If you were to take all of these exterior framing studs and push them all together, stack them together, and we looked at an average house, say it's 50 feet wide by 50 feet deep, you would have in a 2x4 wall being spaced out 16 inches, 150 wood studs. Now, wood is a horrible insulator. It actually, on a 2x4, because it's only 3.5 inches deep, only has an R value of R 4.37, And obviously a 2x6 is a little bit deeper, so it does increase the R value a little bit, but even a 2x6 only has an R value of R6.88. So wood is not a good insulator. It's not a good way of keeping heat in and out, cold in and out. So if we were to combine all of those 2x4s and stack them together, we have 150 studs, which equates to about 225 inches or 18 3/4 feet. So we stack them all together, we would have about 18 3/4 feet of width. So that's how much wood that we have going around. That basically adds like a little, almost like a window for hot and cold to be transferred from the inside of the home to the outside of the home. Now, if we were to build that same exterior wall out of 2x6 construction, that's 24 inches on center, we would go from 150 studs, we would take a third of that off. We're down to only 100 studs, which would equal 150 inches or 12 and a half feet. So we literally chop off 6 1/4 feet. So basically think of an area, I mean, it's probably maybe this big or maybe a little bit bigger, that is like, would be an additional, almost like a window that allows heat and cold to transfer back and forth from the 2x4 versus 2x6. That's huge. That's, so that brings your energy efficiency up drastically when you're doing 2x6. Now, not just the idea that we have less wood on the exterior wall for increasing our R value or our insulation rating on the wall, but because we're going from our bay depth, how deep this area is of how much we're going to fill with insulation from 3.5 inches, we will now go to 5.5 inches. So on like a standard bat, now insulation, our Shell Brothers, they actually do blown-in insulation, so they put like a netting up and blow the insulation in so it fits in every nook and cranny. But let's just say they went more the style of a national builder to really just do the batted insulation. A 3.5 inch deep batted insulation has an R value of R15, and then you have a 5.5 inch deep insulation that will have an R value of R21. So we have less wood, but the wood that we have is 2 inches bigger. So increased R value on the wood that is being used and increased depth. So we have a higher R value on the insulation portion of the walls as well. On top of that, and another advantage, and this is more kind of a byproduct as to this process of 2x6 versus 2x4. If you have something that is filled with insulation that's 3.5 inches deep, or you have something that's filled with insulation that's 5.5 inches deep, insulation is a great way of deadening sound. It traps those sound waves coming in and out from the outside coming in. So when we go from 3.5 inches to 5.5 inches, we increase the indoor comfort of the home from a noise standpoint. It's much quieter when you're in a home that has the exterior walls built out of 2x6 construction. So again, I wanted to make this video because most people, when they think, oh, this builder builds the exterior walls out of 2x6, they just think, oh, it's stronger. Well, we've had homes that have been built out of 2x4s since, I don't know, the beginning of time, and those homes aren't blowing over from wind. They're plenty strong enough, but it's the other aspects. It's these insulation values, it's the indoor comfort from a noise standpoint and the indoor comfort from a temperature standpoint. Some people have money, maybe they don't care as much about the energy bill, but you can't buy comfort. Well, I guess you can buy comfort. Do 2x6 and you definitely get a more comfortable home. All right, thank you so much for joining me here on this video. I hope that you found this helpful, but my biggest question is, now that you watched that, what's your opinion? Would you rather your home be built out of 2x4s or out of 2x6 on that exterior wall? For me, I'm definitely a 2x6 guy. I see the advantages of it. This is 2024, and I feel that this is the way that homes should be being built. But anyway, again, my name is Cory Mayo, licensed realtor with Monument Sotheby's and the lead for the Cory Mayo team. And I help people just like you buy, build, and sell right here in Coastal Delaware. So please feel free to reach out at any point in time. Call or text at 302-466-5511. You can also email me at Cory, C-O-R-Y, at coastallife, D-E as in Delaware.com. And please, if you have any questions, reach out at any point in time. Just like the hundreds of people that I've helped before you buy, build, and sell here, I would love to have you be the next one that I can help out. Look forward to hearing from you soon. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.